This is going to turn into a JK after dark.
I meant just to throw her off.
It's time to spill the tea on Vegas tea time.
Welcome back, everybody. It's Jeff.
And Christina.
With a brand new series here on J&K Stay in Vegas. It's Vegas Tea Time, where we're spilling all the tea of all the stories that you submit to us, of all the fun things that happen here in Vegas, the crazy things, sometimes spicy things. Hey, it's a Friday night on J&K.
Yeah.
So we don't care. So we've got stories that you have submitted. And again, yes, you can submit anonymously if you want to, or you can put your names if you want. But we're going to go through a couple of stories that you have sent in here on Vegas Tea Time. And we've got something cool this week, don't we? We've got some funny ones.
We've got a couple funny ones, yeah. So thank you again, because I was asking, send us something. We don't have anything. And then actually, it was Lindsay that asked during the live stream.
You blew the surprise, because I was going to surprise that we were going to put her story in.
I wasn't done yet. It was Lindsay that asked on the stream if we were going to be still doing the podcast.
Right.
So I said, well, if anybody would send us anything, I said, she's the only one that sent us a story.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, I think from the live stream,
yep,
I think that everybody's like, oh yeah, they still want that.
Yeah.
So then we got some more that came in, and that made us so happy, because we're like, we can't have a podcast without stories.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously it's going to take a little time for people to kind of get used to what we're doing here.
Yeah.
Everybody's got a crazy story.
Yeah.
And even if it's not that crazy, we want to hear them. So we're going to drop a link in the description of all these Vegas Tea Time stories where you can submit your story, again, anonymously, and you can let us know in that Google Sheet form. We'll leave a link down below, and you can submit your stories so we can read them here on Vegas Tea Time.
And again, there's the questionnaire on there. If you want to be anonymous, don't want to use names, even names that are in the story that aren't you, nothing has to be used. So, just fill out that form so we know exactly what to do.
Yep.
But nobody's name will be used, or they will be changed. Let us know if you want to change them. So all the names in here have been changed. So they're not the actual people. So you're not found out.
You know what we actually tried to do? Let me insert this here. So we tried actually not to read each other's ones so we could have a natural reaction to some of these stories. Christina's told me a little bit about these, and I've got a Vegas at 21 birthday. You know that's got to be good, right? So I'm going to read the first story.
Yeah.
And this one, again, this is a Vegas at 21, and this is kind of a crazy story. So let's get in. So I don't know if this is is this a female or a male? Do we know?
Oh, it was a female.
Is it? Okay.
Oh, yeah, because you can read everybody, but the girlies.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Well, okay, to be fair to him, I read all the emails, and I just kind of told him about it. He kind of glanced at it. We didn't do any okay, I'll read this, you read that, kind of think about what we're going to say. No, this is totally...
Except for Lindsay and Roger's story.
Yeah.
We read that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, when she said
but
that.
We wanted a little bit of a spontaneous thing.
Yeah, but we read it because theirs was the first to come in, but we didn't practice oh yeah, I'll react this way, and then when you say that, no, this is totally unscripted. Yeah. The only thing that's scripted are the emails.
So I'm sure everybody's saying, let's get on with it then.
I know, but we're just saying it's the first.
It's the first episode. We got to set it up.
Exactly.
And as we get going, we'll get some grease in the oil and the tires and the spokes and the
hamster in the wheel.
Yeah, the hamster in the wheel, and Emma will chew a bone.
Yes. Do you like Emma's look here with her? She's trying to
we're stalling again.
We're trying to keep it from Ollie. Well, they like it when the puppies are on, so
that's true.
She looks silly.
Ollie's off camera enjoying his bone.
Yeah, so she's trying to keep it to herself. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay, so here I got Vegas at 21, a birthday to barely remember. So the year I turned 21, my friends and I decided that Las Vegas was the only place to celebrate. Makes sense. Mm-hmm. None of us had ever been, but we had visions of glamorous nights, fancy cocktails, and maybe even a little responsible gambling. I see how this is going. Spoiler alert, reality had other plans.
Doesn't it always? We're going to Vegas.
Yep. So the plan was simple. Check in, get dressed up, and hit the town. What actually happened? We spent 2 hours getting ready, took a ridiculous number of selfies in the hotel room. What is with you girls in the selfies in the hotel room?
It's fun. And then add some drinks, and it's really fun. As long as no one went back to doing the kissy faces.
Oh, like the duck faces?
Like the duck faces.
Yeah.
Every once in a while is okay for a good picture, but
it's even worse when dudes do it.
It's really bad.
It's really bad when dudes do it.
I mean, you better be really drunk to explain why you were doing that.
Yeah. So anyway, took a ridiculous amount of selfies in the hotel room, and by the time we made it downstairs, we were already a little tipsy. All right, drunk girls in Vegas, we know where this is going. Our first stop was Chateau Nightclub. Oh, so this is a little bit, okay, so it's now Cherry Nightclub at Paris. Okay, so that makes sense.
Yeah, because a lot of these are like
a little older and God knows
it's
when.
just that's when it happened.
Yeah. Our first stop was Chateau Nightclub at the Paris Hotel with a beautiful view of the Bellagio fountains, overpriced drinks, of course, and a DJ who clearly thought he was way more important than he actually was.
That nothing's changed.
No.
Did I say that?
Yes, you did.
Out loud?
Yes, you did. My best friend convinced me to order a signature cocktail, which ended up being something neon pink that tasted like regret. Well, it is Vegas after all,
A lot of regret in Vegas.
Yeah, exactly.
Next day regret.
Yeah, and headaches and everything else.
Yeah.
I tried to sip it gracefully, but honestly, it was like drinking a melted Jolly Rancher mixed with jet fuel. Well, the first part sounded pretty good.
Yeah, I was on with that, but
yeah. Somewhere between the first and third drink, we decided it was time to hit the casino floor. Now, I had never gambled before, so naturally I walked straight to a roulette table that I knew what I was doing. Are you sure about that? Was she sure? I slapped a $20 down and with too much confidence bet it all on black. The dealer gave me this look like, oh, honey.
What were you thinking?
But I was feeling lucky. The wheel spun, the ball bounced, and of course, it landed on red. So just like that, my dreams of striking it rich were gone in a blink of a second. I stood there staring at the table like it personally betrayed me. Been there, done that, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Determined not to let the loss ruin my night, I convinced the girls to hit up Marquee Nightclub at the Cosmo. Good choice. Some random promoter approached us outside and said he could get us in. No line, no cover. Sounded sketchy, but we were 21, tipsy, and invincible.
And hey, that sounds great. You're 21, get into a club just like that?
You know, it's almost like a rite of passage.
Right.
To have the ultimate failure and fun at the same time.
Exactly.
It's Vegas, you know?
Yep.
But here's where things really took a turn. Uh-oh. We ended up at Dino's. Oh, that's a good place. You know Dean Martin, somewhere off the strip. And it turns out tequila gives me a lot of confidence.
Tequila gives a lot of people a lot of confidence.
And tequila gives everybody a lot of headaches the next morning.
It does, but you're not thinking about that.
Yeah, exactly.
That night.
Yeah. And then you say the next day, I'm never doing tequila again.
And then you come back or you go out and there you go.
Yeah.
Tequila shots.
Yeah, exactly. Oh boy, this is getting bad. I got up on stage and belted out Like a Prayer by Madonna.
Always Madonna for the girls.
I know, right? With all the enthusiasm of a pop star with none of the talent. Oh, this is funny. The crowd loved it, or at least they were drunk enough to pretend they did. I have a feeling it's the latter.
Yeah, it's always that way.
Yeah. By the time we stumbled back to our hotel at what feels like 5 a.m., but was actually, I think, around 2 a.m., I realized I'd somehow lost my shoes, my voice, and most of my dignity. Well, you're not doing Vegas if you don't do all those things,
Yeah, you got to do all that, yeah.
Yeah. My best friend had managed to collect about 8 of those collectible cards from the card slappers. You know the cards I'm talking about. Oh, yeah, we do. Yeah. And my other friend, she passed out fully dressed in our bathtub, holding an empty glass of wine like it was a prized possession.
It is in Vegas.
Yeah.
Depends on how big it is, too.
All I'm getting is a visual of that.
I know.
It just sounds like it's right out of a straight-up B movie from the 80s.
Exactly.
Like sitting there like...
Exactly.
She's sitting there like this. What? No, I'm fine. I'm fine. No.
I'm fine.
No.
Really, I'm fine.
Guys, no, I'll be there right now. Okay, so where are we going? Oh, wait. The next morning, I woke up to the sound of someone groaning.
Was that in the other room or
I don't know. I'm going to keep
room?
reading. The scent of leftover fries and a single glittery high heel that wasn't mine sitting in the middle of the room. Yeah, I could definitely relate to that. You know how many times I've been on a live stream and I see one shoe like on the walkway?
Mm-hmm.
I can't even tell you how many times I have seen that. Like a random shoe. Like, where'd the other shoe go?
It fell off. They just kept walking.
I guess so.
Or they have it in their hands because they can't keep walking.
And they just drop one.
Yeah,
and
don't even realize
that's
it.
maybe what happened to her.
Yeah.
Oh, man. It says, my phone had about 50 photos of us posing with strangers. And to this day, I still have no idea who they were. Wow.
Fun with strangers.
Looking back, that first Vegas trip wasn't exactly the glamorous experience I had imagined, but it was a night I'll never forget, or at least the parts I can actually remember. And it isn't that exactly how a 21st birthday in Vegas is supposed to go.
I would think so.
I guess
could
so.
Go way more dramatic than that.
Yeah.
But
that was a typical fun 21st birthday. It wasn't too... You know,
I mean, no one ended up in jail or missing, or
we're waiting for your jail stories.
Or somebody went missing, like
Cops
really
filmed on location. Bad boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when a copyright comes for you?
Yeah, right.
Right?
Yeah, we're gonna get, and you're gonna get it for the Price is Right little sound.
No, you won't get it for that.
No, you won't.
No. So that's the end of the 21st birthday. So that was pretty fun, Christina. So we've got our next story from one of our longtime awesome subscribers, Lindsay and Raji, and they said we could use their names, right?
Absolutely. She put on the form. You can even go back and look at the form.
Okay.
Yes, you may use our names. My name doesn't matter. Our names.
Okay.
So it's Lindsay and Raji. Nothing to be embarrassed about. Nothing bad.
Darn.
I know.
I wanted something spicy from our Wisconsinites.
I know. So you know what? We
What?
need to get on them and say, come on, you guys. You used to come to Vegas way more often. Give us some good stuff.
Well,
and they were here with their friends a lot, too.
Yeah, well, you know. We gotta have we actually got quite a few stories, and
Yeah.
again, you know, like you can submit them down below. But let's hear Lindsay and Raji's story, Christina.
Okay. And I'm going to name this one, or I did name it. Can I just have a seat? And then you'll find out why. Typical girl in Vegas.
Okay.
Typical female in Vegas.
Okay.
Any girl watching will go, oh.
Okay. Gotcha.
All right. So Lindsay says,
Mm-hmm.
several years ago, my husband Raji and I were in Vegas celebrating our wedding anniversary with 6 of our friends. We went to dinner where we had a lot of wine, and then decided to go to the now closed Moon Club on the rooftop of the Palms Hotel.
What?
A lot of wine.
You know, I'm sensing a theme here about Vegas trips and Vegas stories.
And Vegas drinking.
Yes.
But what do you do in Vegas when you go out?
Yeah. I thought it was only Mormons that came to Vegas, so.
Okay, I shouldn't laugh. Okay. Anyway.
And carry on.
After a couple more drinks at the club, we were all feeling quite tipsy as we partied out on the roof, 50-some floors up, overlooking Las Vegas. I was in a dress and heels. There's your hint right there.
Mm-hmm.
I was in a dress and heels, and my feet were hurting.
Did she say how high the heels were?
No, but I would imagine if her feet were hurting, that tells you right there. They're probably high heels.
Well, okay, go
mean,
ahead.
Not as in inches, no, but once you get past 2 or 3 and you go 4 or 5, which some of the girls do, which
And
I
that's
don't
what
get.
she said.
I did say inches. But what here everybody wants to dress up and look
My
cute.
goal is just to completely get her off. Oh gosh.
This is going to turn into a JK after dark.
I meant just to throw her off. of the
building?
story.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah,
continue
so they
on.
do, though. They
My
want.
bad.
Lindsay, let me know how high your heels were so we can finish this up here. Okay, so anyway, so her feet were hurting. So we know how that is. It's like I can't walk another step in these things. She really wanted to sit down, but as you may or may not know, when you're at a club in Vegas, you cannot sit down unless you buy a table.
Oh, yes, the dreaded buy a table.
This is really funny.
Or get 2 drinks minimum.
Mm-mm.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
At least.
I'm here. I'm here. Let's go.
After a while, feeling confident from my many drinks and my strong desire to sit, I struck up a conversation with the club bouncer who was overseeing the outside area in hopes that he would let us use a table to sit down in Vegas.
Use a table.
Use a table. Just use a table to sit down. I mean,
Yeah.
After all, it was our anniversary,
Right.
and it wasn't very busy at the club.
Okay.
Raji, so it seems right? Yeah. Raji,
Totally innocent.
well, and you don't.
I don't know, Mr. Bouncer.
No,
I just thought I could sit down.
She
here.
just wanted to sit down. I get it, man. Walking around outside those heels,
Okay.
So anyway, she says, Raji and our friends had no idea what I was doing. I managed to talk the guy down to giving us a table for half price.
Okay.
What a great deal, I thought to myself, and I handed him my credit card.
Oh, boy.
Dun, dun, dun.
Cue dramatic music.
Almost immediately, I was ushered over to a table on the rooftop while waitresses surrounded us and filled the table with vodka bottles, waters, limes, cranberry juice, glasses, and buckets of ice.
Buckets of ice.
Time to have some fun.
And time to have that money go right out the window.
When you see buckets of ice, you know trouble's
buckets
coming.
Buckets of cash. That's what that means.
That's what that means, right? Anyway, we're here for whatever you need. Yeah, that's what they said. The waitresses introduced themselves and said, we're here for whatever you need. Raji looked at me with a panic look and asked, what are you doing? And I could just kind of see him like, what are you doing? She's like, and then she says, she says, mind you, we were newly married, still living in an apartment and could barely afford this trip to begin with.
Oh, boy.
It's fine.
It's fine. It's okay. Raji, it's okay. It's okay.
I got us a deal.
Yeah, I got a deal.
It's fine.
I saved us so much money. It's just like that purse I just bought. It was on sale. Yeah.
Famous last word.
Yeah.
I got us a deal, I said to him. My friends were just ecstatic that we were getting the VIP treatment.
I'll bet. Mm-hmm.
Shortly after we sat down, one of the waitresses then handed me the bill to, quote, get it handled ahead of time.
Oh, boy.
I saw the amount and my jaw instantly dropped and I felt like someone punched me in the gut. This was several years ago, and as I'm writing this, I can still feel my stomach turn as if I'm still sitting at the table 50 some floors up overlooking Las Vegas. The bouncer, noticing my reaction, asked, is everything okay? Me not wanting...
No!
Me.
She says in her quiet voice.
Yeah, but in her outside voice, she says, me not wanting to embarrass myself and reveal that I am actually just a broke, drunk girl who simply wanted to sit down to relieve my feet from my uncomfortable shoes. I replied, yep, everything's great.
We're
no problem.
No problem.
Now, I'm not going to go and disclose how much the bill was, but let's just say it was way out of our budget. And this was at half price. She's got all these exclamation marks and question marks. Half price? I turned to Raji and immediately began apologizing. Oh my God. This was so stupid. I'm so sorry.
Way to start off your new marriage.
Right? I love you. That's not what she said. But, yeah, it's not in the email. His reply was, well, too late now. We might as well enjoy it. And he did, and my friends did. But all I could do was think about how much this was costing us as we were treated like royalty for the next 2 hours, drinking vodka and other cocktails. I was not enjoying it.
I'll bet.
We We eventually stumbled back to our hotel at the end of the night, and I spent the entire next day recovering from the worst hangover and feelings of regret. There's the Vegas and regret. There's the line right there.
Yep.
Feelings of regret. My husband is a saint who never once made me feel bad about it, and actually told me it was no big deal and said, now we have a story to tell for years to come, exclamation mark. It took us a while to pay that off on the credit card. Let's just say I will never be buying a table again unless I win the lottery.
I'll bet.
So thank you, Lindsay. Thank you so much. I love that story. I just had it all pictured in my head because, at one time or another, any of us have made some stupid mistake, whether it be here or just somewhere else. And you think it doesn't even have to be with drinking.
Yep.
It's just like, oh, okay, you could help me out kind of thing, whether it be a hotel or whatever. And you hand over the credit card, you feel like, okay, I've solved this. And with like a lack of a better word, then you find out you get screwed.
Yep.
I mean, that's just how it is here.
Yep.
And there's no signs that are going to say.
And they definitely prey on your naivety.
Yeah, and knowing that you've been drinking.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
and
they prey on that.
Yeah, so, and the unscrupulous ones, will definitely do that.
Yeah.
But I mean, even before we moved here, we would come out here and come down to watch bands on Fremont Street. And I remember there was some girl that had one of those, yardstick drinks,
Yeah, but I didn't make a mistake.
Oh, I wasn't talking about you. I was just talking about this random girl that I saw. And oh my gosh, she...
it wasn't for paying for it. Okay.
She drank 3/4 of this yardstick drink on a hot summer day down on Fremont Street.
Which you would think I'd sweat out pretty quickly, but
no.
Way too much alcohol.
Yeah.
In that drink.
Well, see, you were nervous because you kind of melt your crush.
Would try that again?
You met your crush.
One of them, yeah,
one
from
of your
the
crushes
80s.
from your 80s bands.
Spandau Ballet.
Yep. And you thought, well, I got to have some liquid confidence.
Well, because I had to stand there and act like it's no big deal meeting you and talking to you. Like it's just no big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And I was dying inside, trying not to act like a dumb fangirl.
Well, what was cool is that we were there for the sound check, and they were just sound checking because it was Fremont Street.
It was the middle of the day.
So it's not like they could be behind closed doors doing a sound check. It was like they're just doing it right there out in the open.
Well, you kind of said we were walking back to our room after we went to breakfast, and we're walking on Fremont Street, and you're like, what is that? Are they doing a sound check? And I just freaked out. I'm like, oh my God, and just started walking really fast over that way.
And you don't really even think about it since we didn't even live here at the time. You're like, well, yeah, of course, there's no backstage, there's no doors to close off so you can do a sound check.
Right, there's no place that they're playing.
They just have to do a sound check right on Fremont Street for everybody to hear.
Oh my God, it was amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it wasn't Spandau Ballet, but it was Tony Hadley, the singer, and it was just really overwhelming when you're not expecting it. It was like I couldn't prepare for it. So man, that 15-year-old was inside of me, and I'm like, oh really? Oh, that's so cool. Oh my gosh.
Would you say it was the sound of your soul?
You're so funny.
I know. What I mean, I was just asking you, was it the sound of your soul?
Yes. But now I like that song.
You bought a ticket to the world, right?
I did. And then I came back again.
Where did you go? Back to Vegas?
Pretty much, yeah.
I think you did.
So that was actually, the whole point of that story was that after all this happened, took pictures, talked to Tony I keep hitting the microphone, talked to Tony for a really long time. I went and got a drink because I was just freaking out and trying not to show it. And they poured me a drink, whatever it was I ordered, and I swear it was stronger than anything that I've had. I didn't order it a certain way. I just said, here, I want this drink. And I drank it kind of fast, yeah, but yeah, it hit me really hard.
Yeah. In the middle of the daytime, like I said, in the summer, talk about regret.
That was a
At
big
least,
fistful of regret.
but at least you sweat it out from the whole concert. You didn't like get sick or anything like that.
No,
So
I really I don't like to be like inebriated, maybe a little bit tipsy, but like I was really Jeff was like, let's go to Starbucks. Like, let's get some coffee and let's go. I don't remember any of it. I think
you were going like, where's my coffee? Where's my room?
that would make sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were staying at Binion's, I think. Was it Binion's or the D?
The
No.
D. We were staying at the D.
Oh,
Nobody
yeah,
stayed
we
at Binion's for a very long time.
That's very true. So yeah, he's just like, get you some coffee. Let's get you some coffee. And I don't
And I
remember.
said just like that, get you the coffee, get you the coffee.
Well, I know I was annoying because you took a video of me talking and being so drunk. I didn't even know what I was talking about, but I wasn't drunk.
Mm-hmm.
No, I just had a drink. I wasn't drunk.
No, I just had a itsy bitsy drink. Just a little one.
I don't remember any of that, but later he showed me the video and I'm like, oh my God, how embarrassing. But at least by the time of the concert, I was totally fine because I don't like being all wigged out for a concert.
No, and especially again, like, and Tony Hadley had a full suit on.
Oh my God, it was 100.
It had to be. It was like about 107 degrees. I mean, it was
at night.
It was
but
Vegas
it was still
in the summer.
Yeah, I don't know what.
And he was literally like, you could just see the
oh my
sweat
God, he
pouring
was
off.
swimming in his face. Basically, he was so hot.
Yeah,
but
he was so hot.
he is so hot.
It was so hot.
Well, he was singing to me, so he became even
He
hotter.
actually did.
I know, we've got pictures of it.
He went right down, saying right to you in the first row. I'm like, oh boy.
And
I'll let her have her moment.
And it was the if you guys, I know some of these people don't care about, some genres of music, and totally get it. So like if you know Spandau Ballet, you don't even have to know them. The most popular song is True.
Yep.
And because it's the most popular song, I couldn't stand that song for the longest time because it's like, oh my God, it's wedding songs. It's this song. All right, we get it. I'm just kind of like that just because the bands that I like so many songs and other singles.
What's funny is that, speaking of that song True, here we go on our random music rant. But people hear a slow song, they go True, and they think, oh, this will be a great wedding song. And the
with
lyric
a pill
is
on your tongue.
with a thrill on my tongue.
And a pill in my hand.
Yeah, with a pill on my hand and a thrill on my tongue, this open nerve has just begun. I don't think that's a very good wedding line. I don't know about you.
Doesn't matter. But
that's our Vegas story.
Yeah.
I mean, before we even moved to Vegas.
Yeah, we would go during that summer to all the bands.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like how it is now.
Yeah.
All the free shows. But that was a jackpot of shows that summer.
You would have like 2 or 3 bands. Mm-hmm. And then they were even divided up on the First Street stage and the Third Street stage. And it's just weird, like coming back full circle and seeing everybody, like when we're doing live streams like Rick Springfield and Men at Work and all the bands and seeing those poor people standing in 107 degrees. And we saw like how much like they were, those particular concerts, like people were fainting and they're getting people out. So it's no joke when it's hot out there. So
no, it's
don't do Vegas and a dumb story, do Vegas in a fun story still. Make sure you drink lots of water, basically.
I had fun. I mean, and I was fortunate enough, too, to meet the people that were giving away those VIP very front row. So that was the cool part, too, is that since we were kind of in the front, we could kind of like leave, go to the bathroom, get a drink, come back, go to bed. We could still kind of move around until it got really late, which you can't do now because, man, once you're in a spot, you can't leave. I mean, we sat there and watched that, and I was feeling really sorry for people that were in that heat. And it was hot enough when we were sitting there.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, you're hot. We have some Vegas stories here and there, but definitely when I look back on the pictures that come up on Fremont Street, I have to laugh thinking, oh my God, we didn't even live here then.
Yeah.
It was such, Vegas, Vegas, Vegas. We were totally into Vegas before we moved here. Mm-hmm. And loving Vegas was not the reason that we moved here.
No.
Nothing to do with it. There's just all the fun stuff that we did before we lived here.
Yeah,
so.
exactly.
Yeah.
So Vegas Tea Time, our first episode here on J&K Stay in Vegas. What'd you think? Drop a comment below. We're going to do these every Friday here on J&K Stay in Vegas.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be kind of fun because we're already getting some stories.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking forward to next week and the week after. And if you want to participate, again, anonymously, you can drop your story. We have a Google Sheet form that you can fill out and you can answer on there, hey, do you want to remain anonymous?
Which we totally get if you have a story that you would love to tell, but you don't want anybody to know who it is.
Exactly.
There's a lot of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you want to be a part of this and want to be a part of our Vegas Tea Time, let us know. And
I will actually, just as a side note,
yeah,
I will post it, on YouTube, and I'll post it on Instagram. The only thing with Instagram is Instagram doesn't let you put a full link in. Like you can copy paste, it's just text. So that's not me, that's Instagram. You'll have to copy paste it in the browser.
Okay.
And then, unfortunately it's not a link, but just so you know, copy paste it, put it in the browser, and it'll bring up the
and come to think of it too, if people wanted to, they could submit it through a DM on Instagram.
That's very true.
And then just let us know, like, hey, don't use our real names or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if you want to be a part of our Vegas Tea Time, definitely let us know and drop a comment. What'd you think about this? What'd you think about these stories that we read you off tonight? And yeah, we're going to be here every Friday night reading your tea here on J&K Stay in Vegas.
Reading the tea?
Reading the tea.
Oh, does
There's
that mean
a lot of
reading
tea
the
in Vegas.
Tea leaves? Oh,
Yeah.
read spilled. Oh.
Yeah, we spilled the tea. We're Vegas Tea Time, right?
Yes.
So everybody, if you like this, give us a big old thumbs up and subscribe to J&K Stay in Vegas.
Yeah.
And we've got a lot of content coming your way.
We have plans.
Completely more. We're building out the J&K network.
The J&K network. Some of it, we get it though. Some of you guys are like, well, you said you're going to do this. We get it. But sometimes what we say we're going to do ends up. It takes
time.
It does take time. So we're letting you guys know in advance that these are plans that we're making, things that we plan on doing. But because of even this setup, it's not a big deal. I know it doesn't look like a big deal, but the hours that Jeff has put into all of this, you have no idea. The time and everything. So
and we've got even more. And we got even more new series coming to J&K Stay in Vegas. So again, thumbs up if you like this video. Subscribe, it's free, and we invite you. Yes.
Like.
That's what I said. Thumbs up.
Oh, true.
Yeah. Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Yeah. And that's about it.
I think we're done.
For this episode of Friday Night Vegas Tea Time.
Yes.
And as always, everybody, stay safe.
And stay silly.
Bye-bye, everybody.